Doing a quick little video today. I've got here a reverse osmosis water filtration system. Now the water where I live is not great. I didn't mind the way that it tasted personally. It's hard water, but I put in a water softener and now I just really don't like the way that it tastes. So this will provide some nice clean drinking water for me. If you are curious whether or not you think you need a water filtration system like this, you can go to ewg.org/tapwater. You can always, of course, have someone come out and test your water, but this website, they basically take the information that your utility company is required to supply and put it in a way that's much easier to read. So for mine, you can see it's got a bunch of whatever the camera adjusts, bunch of stuff in it. If you click on these, it explains what the numbers mean. For me, that's not really the concern. I just want some water that tastes good, and hopefully this will pull that off. So this here is a system from APEC Water, pretty well known in the space from what I understand. We've got just sort of a standard RO system, got a 3-gallon tank here. We'll be putting this separate faucet in, and then also running a line all the way from over here into the fridge. That way we get nice clean water out of that and good clean ice as well. They send you, you got the normal instructions. They got a nice little diagram that shows at a high level how this thing gets installed. Now this should reduce the TDS reading, I think total dissolved solids in the water, which right now coming out of the tap as soft water, we're getting about, give this a second to stabilize here, 334 parts per million it says. And that is, you're not going to be able to read it from there, but that's what it says. That's actually a little bit higher than it comes before softening, but water softeners, they don't remove those particulates. Rather, they kind of exchange all the nasty whatever was in the water that builds up, calcium deposits and whatnot on everything in your house, and replace them with either sodium or potassium. My case, sodium. So I don't really like the way it tastes. We're gonna stick this thing in and see if it makes it better. So I'm gonna start off by getting all the junk out from under my sink. All right, we can kind of see the state of affairs back here. I've gone and taken this door off just to make it a little easier to fit both me and the camera back here, but you can see what we got to work with here. We got some PEX plumbing coming in, goes out the dishwasher there off of the hot, up to the sink here off both hot and cold. Got our dishwasher, got our garbage disposal here. We can see the drain coming here that we'll be tapping into. According to the instructions, we're going to use this little wrench that they provided here and get this main filtration apparatus set up here. All right, we got kind of 5 steps to the whole RO system here. So we go through 3 filters before it hits that reverse osmosis membrane. So basic filtration to get sediment out, 2 carbon filters, and then it goes through our membrane here, and then this is just a little post filter to catch stuff, and it splits off to the tank. So pretty straightforward, but first we need to get all this assembled here. So in the kit we've got these big chonkers here, so I'm just going to grab these and go in order. This one here is for steps 2 and 3, so this is a carbon filter. I'm going to start off with, let's start with that one, okay? So let's go ahead and get this. We'll tear that off, and we'll get this threaded on here. And then let's see, how much do we torque this? Tighten completely. That's not helpful. Okay, that seems pretty completely tightened to me. Okay, 1 down, 2 to go. Got a carbon filter here. Get it seated down there. Okay, that's about as comfortable as tight as I'm comfortable making that. And on to the final one, which is step number 1, is our sediment filter here. This one comes in paper packaging, which was pre-ripped at the bottom, just lovely. And we'll, kind of reminds me of a paint roller. Pop that in here. Give that a nice little tighten. All right, time to shut off the cold water. In most cases, there's going to be just a knob that you twist to shut it off. But in this house, they've got these little quick shut off things. So I believe I should be able to just give it a pull, and that does it. We'll pop up top here above. And yep, no water coming out. So that looks good. On to the next step. All right, so it looks like first off, put this little gasket into this piece with the hole on the side. I don't know what the proper names for any of these are. Let's see. Female-male water supply adapter with O-ring is apparently the proper name for this. So just got that little O-ring placed in here. And camera does not want to focus on it, which is just peachy. There we go. Got the O-ring pushed in here. And we're going to take our 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch male needle valve and attach that to the side here. So it looks like we wrap a little bit of Teflon tape around here. They included a roll here, but I'm just going to reuse what I already have open. Okay, up next we need the adapter. So this is our 1/2 inch to 3/8. I've got 3/8 tubing in my house, so we'll be using this. Let's see, it says for a 3/8 connection, goes together like that. And then for 1/2 inch, you put it the other way. Okay, I see what they did there. And I guess since there's an O-ring at this connection, it looks like we don't put Teflon tape on this one. Okay, slight change of plans. Apparently this thing's called a flow-tight valve, and it's something that builders are putting in newer houses. Don't think it's going to work out so great with this system. If it is, I don't know if I'm willing to go through the effort of making them work together. So, quick run to the Green Hardware store, picked up a new hose and a new valve, and I'll be sticking these on real quick. Then we'll resume. Yeah, I've got all this pre-assembled since I'm redoing it anyways. It's just easier before I stick that PEX in. In you go. Okay, we'll call it there. And get this faucet hooked back up top. All right, instructions say to put the saddle for drainage before the trap and as low as possible, which I mean on my sink, literally this is the only option. So I guess I'll be sticking it sort of right here, maybe up a little bit just so you can access down here. Yeah, so I'm gonna drill in the back side of this and we'll go from there. Okay, I don't know why the screws they include there are so darn long, but that is good to go now. Step 3, drill a hole for the RO faucet. This will be easier, hopefully. Alrighty, up next we are doing the hole for the faucet. I should probably take the faucet out of the box and confirm what it looks like, shouldn't I? It's a shiny boy. I'm gonna put it right here. Instructions say to drill a 1/2 inch hole, but of course we're not going to do that. We're going to start, well, we're going to do it, but we're not directly going to a 1/2 inch. We're going to start with something small, and then we're going to use a 1/2 inch stepper bit to get us up to that 1/2 inch. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to mirror a little spray nozzle on this side, which is going about here, I think. I'm gonna throw just a little bit of cutting fluid on there to help it along its way. And this is where it gets a lot easier. Yep. Higher setting on the drill helps. All right. There's our 1/2-inch hole. Future Alex here. I totally spaced about this piece, the faucet base. Very important. Goes there, so now I gotta take this all the way out and redo that. So I'm gonna do that. Slide these on up here, and we'll run out of room because there's a big tripod in the way. We'll call that done. Call it done. All right. All right, I'm starting to make some connections and get this thing hooked up out of place, but putting this valve on the tank, it says to wrap it 6 to 8 times. With Teflon tape, I presume that's because this is pressurized tank, so this is going to be the most likely thing to leak, so we'll be nice and careful about that. Going on pretty easy, even though there's a ton of tape on it, so is that a good sign? I don't know. Alright, that seems pretty good right there. We're going to get the fridge hooked up next. Now I've gone ahead, drilled holes through the cabinet off camera. It'd be a bit of a pain to film that with me crawling around in there, but this white line right here, this goes all the way over to the fridge. So it's going through here. I'll get some clips to cable manage that later. And then going all the way, you can't see that because it's so dark. Going all the way behind where the drawers will be, where they can't get pinched. Ducking around behind the stove here, and then same story over here, goes through there, comes out here for the fridge. So let's work on getting this hooked up next. Before we go back there, I should mention that, oh, just barely, in my fridge I already have a bypass valve. Here. I'm gonna get back there. But basically, the manufacturer can get you a piece that you put back there. Hopefully you can see it all the way back there. Takes the place of the built-in water filter because we don't want to try to pump this reverse osmosis water. Yeah, you can see the mess that happens while I'm trying to work on this. We don't want to try to pump that reverse osmosis water through there with how low of a pressure it's at. I'm going to vacuum back here while I'm at there, and then we'll hop to it. Hopefully I don't knock my camera off the table while I'm trying to film back here. This isn't exactly ideal. First thing I'm going to do is shut off the water at the wall. Pop that off, and then this should come out. And most of this tangled up mess back here is due to me having an external water filter on this fridge. It was not doing it for me, hence the reverse osmosis installation we're working on right now. Luckily, I found the correct fitting in the Paula parts on the table, so we are good to go. I'm going to take this line coming over from the filter, and I can't tell if it shows up on camera or not, but slip this on, and this little plastic bit here, and you just stick it in there, and we squish this down. That's pretty good. Awesome. Fridge is hooked up. Let's get the rest of this system online. I think we're finally ready to start hooking things up, and then we can test it out. Let me get this drill out of the way. Okay, so I already plugged a couple things in. Our inline goes here into the first pre-filter. That's coming from our cold water right over here. Our drain, black one, coming out. It's already attached on one side here. Goes into our drain, whatever it's called. I'm too tired to remember. All right, so what we have left to hook up are the tank, faucet, and the fridge. Let's start working on the faucet. See, so this is the one that comes out the straight end, and we need to use this T-splitter here to hook up our fridge. So I'm going to, I don't need all this length coming off of the faucet, so I'm just gonna cut a little piece off here. And then we'll use this. These fittings are real easy to use. You just shove that in, good to go. So this will go into our end here. Actually, I'm gonna make that a little shorter. So I'm gonna take this guy, stick it on our output here. Easy peasy. And then we'll have one going off to the sink. There we are. And then other side is our refrigerator. Ow, that hurt. Good to go. Come in here and we'll plug it in the other side of that T-splitter. Right as rain. And then last piece, I'm just gonna keep the tank in here for now. I can always move it later. But I just want to get this thing online at this point. So we'll take our tank here. I'm going to leave this yellow line long for now. I'll come back and trim it later once I decide where the tank's permanent home is going to be. Hook that up here. And then the other side goes into the vertical back here, like so. Okay. So that's all of our connections made. Let's get this kind of back into place here. Get some cords out of the way. I'll go back and cable manage later. So let's get this thing up and running. Moment of truth. Well, moment of truth comes in a minute. There are specific instructions to follow for system startup. Okay. Step 1, turn on feed water. Turn on your cold water supply. Slowly, it says. Okay, open the needle valve counterclockwise so that raw water enters the system. We can hear it going now. I was supposed to put a valve between this and the refrigerator. Where did that go? No, there's no water pressure there. Okay. I'm just gonna go for it. If it drips, it drips. Yep, no problem there. Okay, there we go. There's our shut off for the fridge. Let me turn the water back on. Is there? Oh, we got a leak, we got a leak. Oh. Oh, it's the tank connection that's dripping. Yep, that's not in all the way. Okay. Whoop, stop making noises. That's a good sign. So now we turn this on. Whoop, and allow the tank to fill. It's 2 to 3 hours, so we'll be back here in a while. All right, we're back here the next day, and everything looks good. Nothing's leaking, so pretty happy about that. I've had plenty of times to taste it, and it's all right. Don't love it, don't hate it. Tastes like water with nothing in it, so. I will say that I like it a little bit less than the taste of just hard water. I know there are things you can get that reintroduce minerals to it to modify the taste a little bit, but I'm happy with it. I think it's all right, and it's certainly better than the soft water in my book, which I really did not like the taste of. So, got a little sample here of RO water. We'll just take a reading because obligated to do that anytime you're installing an RO system. And I am reading on this guy 22 parts per million. So pretty good. I saw it dip as low as about 15 yesterday. So it does exactly what it advertises on the tin. There's things in your water, this takes the things out of the water. One thing that I noticed is that the ice coming out of the ice maker looks much clearer than it used to, so that's a neat little added benefit. Very picturesque ice compared to what I had before, but yeah, overall, not too hard to install. Seems pretty nice. Not much else to say about that. Now, I did buy the system from APEC Water, which I know is a very highly regarded brand in terms of reverse osmosis systems, but I did have an issue with their website that I'd be remiss if I did not bring up. By the way, I bought the system with my own money. They didn't send me anything. I'm not being paid to say anything, so everything in this video has just been my own opinions and my own process of getting it set up. So I ordered this system from their website. It had about $29 shipping listed, and then after I went through the checkout process and hit confirm at the end, the total jumped up by about almost $40. The shipping over doubled. So it's and this was after the checkout process that it went up. I was a little frustrated and confused, so I reached out to their support, and in their defense, they did get it corrected pretty much the next day. They told me that it's a bug with their system, and you know, they're a reputable brand. I'm inclined to believe them, but at the same time, that can't happen. So it's something that shouldn't have happened. I know software issues occur, but it's that type of thing. You just can't let that through, and it's something that I'm not personally upset about it, but I can't in good faith not mention that happened during this video. So there are lots of options from competitors that you can check out if you aren't comfortable with that. Hopefully they have that fixed on their website. I don't know if I would advise buying it direct from their website unless you're ready to sort of scrutinize that and check for it. You can also buy these systems from Amazon, and like I said, lots of very similar RO systems on the market. The main thing for me was just looking for something that took standard filter cartridges so you don't get charged an arm and a leg for proprietary stuff when it's time to replace those, and something that wasn't noisy. Some of the tankless options I looked at, people mentioned them making pretty loud noises at the pump. So that's it for the video today. Let me know what you thought about it. See you next time.